Hey there, happy Thursday. So it's been a bit since I've been on. It's been a crazy week, and I'll share more about it in a minute. But and it kind of segues into what I'm talking about today of as how things don't always go as planned. And I talk a lot about planning and goal setting, and it's good to have a plan, but you also have to recognize that there are going to be times when the plan that you have is going to fail, or something's going to happen that you didn't plan for at all. There's going to be setbacks and bumps along the way, and you're going to be blindsided by things that you just didn't see coming. That is just the nature of life. And you're going to come to a point also where you're going to be forced to make a choice and a decision. And it may not be a decision you want to make, but it's one that has to be made because it's for your greater good. So just know, like, you're going to fall, you're going to get knocked down, and it's going to happen again and again. And the one thing to remember is you're not defined by your falls. You're defined by how many times you get back up again. And so this is to really talk about what happened to my husband. So we were in Arizona last week. We went there. My sister lives there, but we also went there because he was running a 100K ultra race, which is 62.2 miles of running nonstop. Yes, people do this. And he has trained for a really long time. Like, he's been an ultra runner for over a year, but he's been training for this race specifically for many months. And he runs, like, I don't know, hundreds of miles. Is that right? A week? No, probably not hundreds of miles a week. Anyway, he runs a lot. Like, we're talking, 50 to 60 miles a week that he's training. So he runs a lot, several hundred miles a month, I guess. But anyway, he's put in the training. A lot of hard work went into this, and he was ready for this race. And the race was going really well. And then at mile 40, he was about 8 hours into his race, his toe caught a rock, and he had this really freak accident happen, which was really uncommon, where he fractured his patella. And he had to make a choice in that moment to end his race, sadly. And it wasn't a choice he wanted to make, obviously, because he had trained to run 62.2 miles, and his race up until that point was going really well. He was on track to do it in the time that he wanted to do it. And so it was going well, but he had to make a really difficult decision to pull out of that race, because to carry on, well, I mean, he couldn't have carried on. He couldn't walk. So there are going to be times in your life where setbacks are going to happen, and you have to decide how you're going to react to them. And you can't always plan. Like I said, you can't always plan for these unforeseen circumstances. And it's not necessarily in the circumstance itself, but in how you respond to it. How do you react, and how do you move forward? There's a great quote I love. I posted it the other day. I'm going to pull it up because I will botch it if I try to tell you what it is. By Vince Lombardi, who said, "It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up." So, like I said, you're not defined by your falls, but in how many times you get back up. And this isn't only about, what happened to my husband. I can tell you with clients. So people who come to me for weight loss, and they start seeing progress and they're losing weight. And then inevitably what happens is maybe one week you put on a couple pounds, and another week those pounds that you put on don't go anywhere. So you feel like your progress that was happening all of a sudden isn't happening anymore. And what happens is, when people come to this point of a setback, that's when they're ready to throw in the towel and they're ready to give up. Well, what's the point? If I'm now not even losing weight and I'm gaining weight, or I'm just staying stagnant, what's the point? And that's when you throw in the towel. And in life, this is when you have a choice. When the setback comes, you have to decide that you're going to be stronger than that setback, and you're going to move forward despite it, because they will happen. So it's not an excuse to say, okay, well, I'm done losing weight, or for my husband, oh, I guess I'm done running, not going to happen anymore. No, you find a different way. Okay, so maybe he can't run for the next 8 weeks, but you'll find him in the pool or riding the stationary bike with one leg. Like, there are ways around it if you want to find the way. So whatever way you decide, you're going to find evidence to support your decision. So if you want to believe and buy into your excuses as why you can't continue to do something, then that's what you'll get, more of that. You can buy into that excuse. Or you can buy into the belief that you're not going to believe that excuse. I'm not going to buy into that excuse. Or even one of the clients that I have, was going through a divorce, and now she's really created a life that she designed for herself of how she wants that relationship to look, not only with her ex, but with her family. Like, she has 2 kids. So with her ex and now with her kids. And even in that relationship, there are going to be setbacks too, where things happen that kind of, whether it's like a sucker punch to the gut, or it feels like you're just moving backwards. Well, sometimes in order to go forward again, you have to reset and then go forward from a new perspective, from a new standpoint. So you can be defined by these falls, or you can be defined by how many times you get back up. And even I can relate it to my daughter and her homework a couple of weeks ago, when she was struggling with some math problems, and she was like, I just can't do it. That's it. I'm just going to put a question mark here, and I'm going to write a note to my teacher. I can't do it. And I'm not okay with that. I said, we have to at least try. Like, if she tried one way and it didn't work, well, let's look at what other options are out there. Perhaps there's another way we can look at this situation to try to get you to the answer or to the solution. And so what do you know? We looked at a different math video to help her, and then she looked at it from a different place, and she was able to get it and understand it. And she was like, oh, this is actually fun. I get it. And so there can be a sense of accomplishment that comes from realizing that you can do hard things. You can move forward when things don't feel like they're going the way you expected them to, or the way you wanted them to. It's all in how you view it. So, and I love this quote I saw actually the other day from my cousin, because her son was having surgery. The comeback is always stronger than the setback. So if you can approach things from that mindset and that mentality, knowing that you're going to come back stronger, whatever it may be, whether it's the weight loss or a divorce or a race that you had to pull out of and recover from an injury, whatever setback you're facing, there are 2 ways to look at it. I mean, there's probably more than 2 ways, but it's either I'm going to sit here and have myself a little pity party and just throw in the towel and give up, or I'm going to make a decision that I'm going to come back stronger and better, and I'm not going to buy into these beliefs that are keeping me in a negative mindset. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I would love to hear from you. So leave a comment below if this is helpful, or let me know how you deal with setbacks when you come across them. And if you found it helpful, please share. And that's it. I hope you have a great day. Thanks.